In Stoicism, silence reflects wisdom, but there are moments when staying quiet can be a grave mistake. The great Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, remind us that words are tools, meant to uphold truth, justice, and integrity. Speaking out when it matters can inspire change and prevent harm. In this video, we'll explore 7 key situations where silence can cost you. From witnessing injustice to defending your values, correcting falsehoods, and avoiding lifelong regret. Let's uncover when breaking silence becomes a moral duty. 2. When someone is spreading false information. In the previous point, we discussed how silence in the face of injustice can compromise your integrity. But what about when the truth itself is under attack? Words have the power to shape reality, and when falsehoods spread, staying silent is like handing them a weapon, one that can mislead, harm, or even destroy trust and lives. The Stoics, like Epictetus, believed in living according to reason, truth, and wisdom. False information is the opposite of these values. Whether it's a small lie or widespread misinformation, letting it pass unchecked violates one of Stoicism's core principles: to do what is right, not what is easy. Correcting falsehoods is not about proving yourself smarter or winning arguments. It's about upholding truth and preventing harm, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. Imagine this. You're in a group discussion, and someone confidently shares incorrect facts. You know the truth, but you hesitate, thinking, "Why should I get involved? What if they argue back?" This moment is a test of your character. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control how others react, but we can control our response. If you stay silent, you allow the falsehood to grow and possibly mislead others, creating confusion and unintended harm. However, when you speak calmly and rationally, you offer clarity and align yourself with truth, a value worth defending. Here's a powerful thought: what is false is not harmless. It spreads like fire. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we must act with justice and honesty in all we do, which includes how we communicate. Correcting falsehoods doesn't require harshness or arrogance. Instead, approach it with humility and clarity. Use phrases like, "Actually, that's a common misconception. Here's what I've learned. I see where you're coming from, but the evidence suggests, let's look at this carefully. We might be missing something important." By offering truth without attacking others, you build trust and encourage meaningful dialogue. Stoics teach us to speak with purpose, not pride. Truth shared in the right way educates rather than humiliates. This doesn't mean you should engage in every minor debate. Stoicism also values wisdom in choosing your battles. If the misinformation is trivial or comes from someone unwilling to listen, it might not be worth your energy. But if falsehoods can harm people's understanding, beliefs, or lives, your voice becomes a moral obligation. So the next time you hear something untrue, pause and reflect. What would a Stoic do? They wouldn't raise their voice or act impulsively. They would respond with reason, truth, and calmness. Remember, silence in the face of falsehood isn't just passive, it can be harmful. Use your words to light the path of truth. After all, as Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters. Speak up, not to win, but to serve the truth. And in doing so, serve others. 3. When you witness harm to yourself or others. In the last point, we discussed the importance of speaking up against falsehoods to uphold truth and prevent harm. But what happens when the harm is more direct? When someone is being hurt emotionally, mentally, or even physically? Silence in these moments is no longer just passive. It becomes a choice that enables the harm to continue. The Stoics remind us that standing by while harm happens violates the core principles of justice, courage, and integrity. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, emphasized that we are part of a larger community. Our family, friends, neighbors, and even strangers. If you witness harm happening and choose silence, you are neglecting your role in the greater good. Stoicism teaches that courage is not about fighting meaningless battles, but about taking action where it truly matters. Speaking up to stop harm, whether it's aimed at yourself or someone else, is one of the most honorable actions you can take. Let's think of a common situation. You're at work, and a colleague is being unfairly criticized or humiliated in front of others. You feel uncomfortable, but part of you hesitates. "It's not my place," or "I don't want to make things worse." These thoughts might feel safe in the moment, but silence makes you complicit in the harm. The Stoics remind us that inaction in such situations is an abandonment of virtue. You don't need to be confrontational, but a calm and supportive voice can shift the situation. I don't think this is fair. Let's talk through this calmly. I see this differently. Maybe we can address this more constructively. Similarly, when harm is directed at you, staying silent allows others to violate your dignity. Stoicism teaches us to act with courage and self-respect. Epictetus famously said, "No one can harm you without your permission." If you allow disrespect or mistreatment to go unaddressed, you're giving others the power to define your worth. Speaking up is not about aggression, it's about setting boundaries and protecting your peace. However, speaking up doesn't mean being reckless. Stoics believe in acting with wisdom and composure. If you witness harm in a dangerous situation, take thoughtful action. Seek help, intervene calmly, or involve someone with authority. Your goal is not to win or appear heroic, but to prevent unnecessary suffering. Remember this: when you speak up against harm, you inspire others to do the same. Courage is contagious. In a world where many choose to look away, your voice becomes a powerful tool for change. So the next time you witness harm, whether it's bullying, injustice, or abuse, ask yourself, what would a Stoic do? They would not shrink in fear or turn away. They would act with calm conviction, because silence is not an option when someone's well-being is at stake. By speaking up, you honor yourself, protect others, and uphold the Stoic principle of justice, the greatest of all virtues. 4. When your values and beliefs are under attack. In the last point, we discussed how silence can enable harm. But what happens when the attack isn't physical? It's aimed at your core beliefs and values. When your very identity or convictions are challenged, staying silent can feel like surrender. Stoicism teaches that our values define us, and in times of conflict, speaking up for them is not just a right, it's a responsibility. Imagine being in a conversation where someone criticizes or mocks something you deeply believe in, whether it's your work ethic, your morals, or your worldview. The instinct might be to remain silent to avoid conflict or preserve peace. Yet, in doing so, you risk compromising your integrity. Stoics like Epictetus believed that silence in the face of such attacks undermines our commitment to truth and justice. When we allow others to challenge our values without standing firm, we give up our power and self-respect. The Stoics weren't about starting arguments or proving a point for the sake of pride. They were about standing by what is right, regardless of opposition. Marcus Aurelius urged us to stand firm in your convictions, because true strength comes from being rooted in what is just and virtuous. Standing up for your beliefs isn't about forcefully imposing them on others. It's about asserting your identity and defending your dignity without aggression. Here's where the power of calmness comes in. The Stoics mastered the art of speaking their truth without getting caught in emotional turmoil. Imagine a situation where you're in a discussion and someone ridicules your personal beliefs. Instead of reacting impulsively or defensively, you calmly express your position. I respect your perspective, but here's how I see it. This is something I believe deeply, and here's why. I understand you don't agree, but I still stand by this because it aligns with my values. Notice that these responses aren't meant to win an argument, but to express your truth clearly and calmly. Stoicism teaches that you can disagree without hostility, defend your beliefs without resentment, and express your values with grace. It's not about changing minds through force. It's about embodying the truth and letting your actions speak for themselves. What's more, standing up for your values can inspire others to do the same. When you remain silent, you allow negative forces to chip away at the collective integrity. But when you speak with calm confidence, you become a beacon for others who may feel powerless in the face of criticism. Your voice not only reaffirms your own beliefs but also encourages others to find their own strength. So, the next time your beliefs are under attack, don't shrink back. Ask yourself, what would a Stoic do? They wouldn't cower or remain silent. They would calmly express their truth, not to win, but to stand firm in what is right. In doing so, you not only protect your own integrity but also show others the power of speaking up for what truly matters. 5. When avoiding silence could prevent regret. In the previous point, we explored how staying silent when your values are under attack can compromise your integrity. But there's another layer to this. Silence in critical moments can lead to regret. Imagine looking back and realizing that by not speaking up, you missed an opportunity to change something important, whether it's in a personal relationship, a career decision, or a moral stand. Stoicism teaches that Avoiding silence, especially when it matters, is an act of courage and wisdom that helps you avoid the sting of regret. Regret is one of the most powerful emotions we experience, and it often stems from missed opportunities. The Stoics understood this all too well. They believed in taking action in alignment with virtue, no matter the external outcome. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the fleeting nature of time, urging himself not to waste moments on hesitation or indecision. Inaction in the face of a challenge or injustice, according to Stoicism, is a source of inner conflict, because deep down, you know you could have acted but chose not to. Think about a moment when you stayed silent, unsure of the outcome or afraid of confrontation, only to later wish you had spoken up. Maybe you saw an opportunity to stand up for a friend or challenge an unfair situation, but you held back, telling yourself, "It's not my place," or "I don't want to cause trouble." Later, you feel a lingering sense of guilt, realizing that your silence allowed something unjust to happen, or worse, allowed your own growth to stagnate. Stoicism teaches us that avoiding these moments of regret requires action in the present. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." When you choose silence in a moment that demands your voice, you're allowing external circumstances to dictate your life rather than living according to your values. Taking a stand, even when it's uncomfortable, can prevent the inner turmoil of regret that follows silence. But speaking up doesn't mean charging in blindly. It's about knowing when your voice can make a difference and when it's worth the potential discomfort. The Stoics were masters at understanding that some things are worth standing for, even if there's risk or conflict. Whether it's calling out an injustice, defending your belief, or simply asserting your needs, the courage to act is a way to avoid looking back with regret. So, what can you do to prevent regret in the future? The Stoic solution is to ask yourself, if I stay silent, will I regret not acting later? By considering the long-term impact of your silence, you give yourself permission to speak out in alignment with your values. Whether it's at work, in personal relationships, or when you witness something wrong, taking action in the moment is the antidote to the regret of inaction. In the end, silence is not always a virtue. It's in those crucial moments when you fear regret that you must find the courage to speak up. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Don't let silence rob you of the opportunity to live with integrity and avoid the regret of inaction. 6. When silence can lead to missed opportunities. In the last point, we discussed how silence in critical moments can lead to regret. But there's another consequence of staying silent: missed opportunities. Opportunities are like windows. Sometimes they stay open for only a brief moment, and if you're too hesitant to act, they close before you can take advantage of them. Stoicism teaches that embracing those moments, even when they seem uncomfortable, is essential to living a fulfilled and purposeful life. By remaining silent, you risk letting chances slip by, whether in relationships, career, or personal growth. How often have you found yourself hesitating in a moment that could have been life-changing? Maybe you had the chance to speak up in a meeting, ask for a promotion, express your feelings to someone important, or step forward in a new direction. But you stayed quiet, thinking, maybe it's not the right time, or what if it doesn't work out? Later, you look back and realize that silence closed the door to something valuable. The Stoics were keenly aware that time is fleeting, and if you don't act when the moment calls for it, you may never get that opportunity again. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on how precious time is, urging himself to make the most of every moment. The Stoics didn't sit idly by waiting for things to happen. They took purposeful action in accordance with virtue, making the most of the present. By speaking up and seizing opportunities as they arise, you act in alignment with your values and goals. Stoicism isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about making each moment perfect by acting in a way that reflects your highest potential. Consider a situation at work where you've been contemplating sharing a new idea or initiative. You feel the urge to stay quiet, afraid of rejection or judgment. But by not speaking up, you miss the chance to contribute, grow your influence, or even get the recognition you deserve. Silence, in this case, not only prevents you from expressing your worth, it prevents others from seeing it too. The Stoic wisdom here is clear. Speak up when you believe in something, because opportunities are often hidden in moments of discomfort. Same applies to personal relationships. If you never express your feelings, your desires, or your boundaries, you risk allowing misunderstandings to fester, and you miss the opportunity to build deeper, more meaningful connections. Stoicism teaches that it's not just about preserving your own peace. It's about living authentically and expressing yourself truthfully. When you allow fear or doubt to silence you, you miss the chance to strengthen those bonds. So how do we avoid missing these opportunities? The key is to take action, even when it feels uncomfortable. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control the outcomes, but we can control our response. Don't let silence be your default response when you know an opportunity exists. Ask yourself, if I stay silent now, will I regret not acting later? Taking a step forward, even with uncertainty, can open doors to growth, success, and deeper connections. In the end, silence in the face of opportunity is a missed chance to evolve. As the Stoics remind us, the time is now. Make your voice heard, take action, and embrace the possibilities in front of you, because the opportunities you let pass today might not return tomorrow. 7. When silence prevents growth and self-expression in the previous point, we explored how staying silent can cause missed opportunities in both personal and professional life. But there's an even deeper consequence of silence, when it stifles your personal growth and self-expression. The Stoics believed in the power of living authentically and being true to yourself. Silence, when it comes at the expense of expressing who you truly are, can hinder your development and prevent you from achieving your fullest potential. Have you ever found yourself biting your tongue, suppressing your true thoughts or feelings, because you feared judgment or rejection? Maybe it was in a creative endeavor, a personal goal, or even an emotional situation where you held back, choosing silence over authenticity. While silence can protect us in some circumstances, it also has the power to stifle the very expression that drives growth. When we suppress our voice, we suppress a part of who we are, and that can prevent us from reaching new levels of self-awareness and success. Stoicism encourages us to express our true selves, not for approval, but for personal fulfillment and growth. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that we are here to live a life in accordance with our nature, not to play small or hide our gifts. Silence in moments that require self-expression limits our ability to grow, learn, and contribute in the ways that are uniquely ours. Every time we hold back from sharing our thoughts, ideas, or emotions, we miss a chance to evolve. Let's take a personal example. You're in a meeting, and you have a brilliant idea that could revolutionize a project, but you hesitate. You wonder if it's too risky, or if people will think you're overstepping. By staying silent, you not only miss the opportunity to contribute, but you also rob yourself of growth. By expressing your thoughts, you step into your power, showing yourself and others what you're capable of. The Stoic principle here is clear. Silence isn't always wise if it stops you from being true to who you are. In relationships, the same principle applies. If you suppress your emotions, your boundaries, or your desires out of fear of conflict or rejection, you hinder the depth of connection you can have with others. Authentic communication is the foundation of healthy relationships. When you choose silence instead of sharing your truth, you risk building walls instead of bridges. Self-expression is an act of courage. It requires vulnerability, yes, but it also opens doors to new opportunities for growth, deeper connections, and creative innovation. Stoicism isn't about remaining mute in the face of discomfort. It's about speaking when it matters most, to share your truth, challenge yourself, and express your ideas and emotions in ways that contribute to your development. So, the next time you feel the urge to stay silent, ask yourself, am I choosing silence because it's protecting me or because it's preventing my growth? Remember that silence, when it stops you from being your authentic self, becomes a barrier to progress. Speak up, express yourself, take risks, and embrace the growth that comes from being unapologetically you. As the Stoics teach us, true fulfillment comes from living in harmony with our nature, not hiding it. If you found this video eye-opening and inspiring, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button to show your love and support for more empowering content like this. Flexed Biceps, drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. Speaking Head, what do you think about the power of speaking up? Have you experienced a moment where silence held you back? Let's get the conversation started. Sparkles and hey, if you're hungry for more motivational and life-changing insights, don't forget to subscribe and watch our other videos that will guide you on your journey to self-improvement and personal growth. Rocket, we're all about unlocking your potential, and you're a part of this amazing community. Let's grow together. Red Heart.